Hi, my name is Mike Conley, longtime property manager here in the East Bay. And over the years, I would say that about 80% of properties owned by landlords are in their name, and about 20% of properties are in what's called an LLC, a limited liability company. And in this short video, we're going to talk about the advantages of an LLC. And the first question that we want to address is, are there any tax implications with an LLC versus having the property under an individual name? And the short answer to that is no, there are none. That's because it's a pass-through entity one way or another. In other words, the income that we derive from our rental property, we're going to be taxed at our own individual tax rate, whether or not it's in an LLC or not. And that might change if you own a lot of commercial property where you're making a lot of income each year. Then you might want to consider what's called a C corporation. But for 99% of us, there is no tax difference between an LLC and having it under our own individual name. So then the question becomes, why do I even consider an LLC then if there are no tax advantages? And the real one-word answer to that is this: protection. You're protecting yourself against your vendors, against tenants, and against neighbors. Now, all this assumes that you have landlord insurance on your property as well as umbrella insurance. But an LLC is going to add a very important secondary layer of protection. For instance, let's say your tenant slips and falls on your property and decides to sue you for everything that you have. Well, worst case scenario, they win. They're only entitled to recover what is in the LLC, which is your property, nothing outside of it. So they could not go after your personal assets, which they could if it wasn't, your property was not in an LLC. So there's a great deal of protection there. Also, you're protecting there's protection from yourself with an LLC. What do I mean by that? Well, let's say that you're in a car accident, it's clearly your fault, and you do harm to the other driver of the car, and he decides to sue you for damages. Well, if he sues you and wins, he's not entitled to anything that's in the LLC, which would be your property. That's because the LLC is not owned by you, it's owned by the LLC. So in essence, you're protecting your property from anything that you would do, and you're also protecting yourself from anything that would happen on the property. So it's like a double layer of protection, two-way protection. So the process of setting up an LLC starts with choosing a name, as long as it's not taken by anybody else in California. And then you're going to have an attorney very simply file with the state articles of organization. And this is kind of like your birth certificate. And then next you're going to submit a change of ownership statement with the county recorder where the property is located. And then you're also going to submit a quick claim deed with the county recorder where the property is located. And then finally, you're going to set up a bank account so that funds from your LLC are not commingled with your personal funds. Other considerations when setting up your LLC: how long do you plan on owning the property? If you only plan on holding it for another 6, 12, or 18 months, it would not be worth it to set up an LLC. But any longer than that, I would recommend it. And then I've had owners say, Mike, do I need to set up an LLC for each of my properties? These are owners with multiple properties. And the answer to that is no. The value of the property or portfolio, the general rule of thumb is that if it does not exceed $5 million, then you can put multiple properties under one LLC. After $5 million, you'd want to set up another one. Why $5 million? Because generally that's the limit of insurance protection that you can have on your properties. So you'll want to talk to an accountant or a attorney. I'm neither of those, to get more details on setting up an LLC. But if you have any general questions, please give me a call, Mike, at 510-996-3238. Thanks for watching, and good landlording.